controlar los movimientos injustificados en los diferenciales de bonos.
Está con nosotros Massimiliano Bondurri, founder and CEO de SGMC Capital. Massimiliano, good morning.
Good morning to you.
What do you think about this crisis in UK, United Kingdom?
Well, it will definitely be interesting to watch. Clearly, what we have seen over the last 2 weeks has been unprecedented. And what the market has clearly told is that the fiscal and especially tax cuts they were planning to implement was not liked by the market. And all of that has, of course, put in danger the pension funds within the UK, and therefore Bank of England actually had to step in. Now it's going to be very important the next few steps, because it seems like, and as you was mentioning before, even though it's just been a few weeks since the new leader took over, that you might actually start talking about a new one, which could give a little bit more confidence to the market, which could, first of all, rein in speculation of excessive fiscal stimulus, and then little by little develop from there. Definitely what we can expect is a lot of movement and volatility within the pound, clearly, the equity market as well, especially in the currencies. And all of that, of course, is going to be reflected also in terms of the Bank of England's interventions.
What do you think about inflation? Like we know, yesterday in the United States, this night in China, and in Europe, in different countries like Spain and France. What do you think about the problem of inflation? If this is a manageable crisis for central banks?
Well, inflation is definitely the main problem that all central banks are facing, both in the developed markets and in the emerging markets. So it's true in China as well, probably not as much as we've seen in the US or in Europe. In China, they're probably going to be continuing with their fiscal stimulus and especially help to the local economy. In terms of inflation, they're not as worried. In Europe, of course, is a different kind of scenario. In Europe, you have inflation which is running way ahead of what the European Central Bank is comfortable with. And they need to start hiking. They need to rein in demand in order to bring this inflation down.
Massimiliano, what do you think about the crisis in fixed income in this 2022? This crisis has finished yesterday when market said 10 years, the T-note, the American T-note have peaked in 4% of rentability. This is finally the crisis go ahead?
Well, in terms of interest rates, we need to keep in mind that we're probably not at the end, and inflation is going to remain there. So you can expect interest rates to continue moving higher and automatically fixed income prices to decline. Central banks will need to continue tightening. And inflation is only going to come down once unemployment also moves up. And that's something that probably the market has not discounted yet. Therefore, there must be more pain in the market before inflation actually comes down. And that, of course, is going to be the same in fixed income. And when you look at fixed income, of course, you have to look at the government side, but also at the corporate side. In terms of the corporate side, you have to look at the spreads. Corporate spreads are likely to keep widening because of the current negative scenario. And in terms of that, you're likely to see further pressure in terms of the corporate bonds. But there are quite a lot of opportunities arising now, especially if you look at the belly of the curve in the 3 to 5 year space.
We could understand that the rally of the end of the year has started?
Well, in terms of technical movement, the rally that we've seen yesterday potentially could keep going. But in terms of sustained rally, is going to be very difficult. Because, of course, macroeconomic environment is difficult. You're currently in a risk-off scenario. You have a lot of geopolitical risks ahead of us. Therefore, tactical bounces like the one we've seen yesterday can keep going and actually will continue to happen. Now, the question here really is whether they're sustainable. And in the current environment, given, again, the lot of structural risks faced by the global growth, by the global economic market, it's hard that they're going to be sustained. Therefore, where the bottom is, that's going to be a bit of more important question in terms of equity valuation and fixed income valuations. But a very large rally, like a V-shaped rally like we've seen post-COVID, we definitely do not expect that to happen. And if it does in the short term, it will not be sustained.
Thank you very much, Massimiliano Bondurri, founder and CEO de SGMC Capital. Good day, good business, Massimiliano.
Thank you, same to you. Take care.
9:50 de la mañana